Phil Goff famously called out Trump very, very carefully, diplomatically,
Mhm.
apparently not diplomatically enough, in a press conference, I think, with the Finnish Prime Minister, I want to say, talking about the Winston Churchill head. I think you and I might have talked about it. We must have talked about it
Mhm.
when it happened. Because I was asking questions about what the significance of the Churchill head was. That's what it was. And Clint was here. That's right. I remember now. What a time. What a day that was.
Wow, you realize that live. That was a fun process to watch you go through.
That's literally what my brain does as it goes, oh, yeah.
Oh,
Anyways,
yeah, wasn't it?
now that we've taken a trip back, we're going to take a trip back with Phil Goff and Katie Bradford. Oh, I remembered her name. Go me. Had a sit down with him on Q&A. Wait, Q&A? Oh, no, it's a TV1 thing. I thought for a second that Katie Bradford had jumped networks. She had a sit down with Phil Goff and had a chat about the incident that got him fired. And the reason I wanted to play this, just because, ties in nicely and you guys hadn't covered it. Tit, tit, tit. I thought it was quite nice to lead off the Trump stuff. And it's also a really good feel-good piece about politicians sticking to their guns. There's a nice little quote right at the end that I think you'll enjoy. But Phil Goff does not hold back in this interview. He
Okay.
does not regret his comments. He does not hold back one bit, and it is so good because he's lost his job, right? He's got nothing to lose at this point, so
Mm.
he's quite happy to double down on what he originally said about Trump. So I think you might enjoy this. I don't know. I'm not enough of a politics nerd, especially during the time when he was probably the most prominent. So I'm sure there is things that he's done in the past that people don't like him for, but I'm gonna say if this is the impression he leaves behind, I like
Mhm.
the guy. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. So let's listen to what he's got to say, eh? I think this is the right.
Doing to the world. That's why I felt that we needed to speak out.
Do you think world leaders are scared of Trump?
Oh, absolutely. This is the country that has the greatest economic and military strength in the world, led by a leader that is totally narcissistic and is likely to retaliate against people that disagree with him. You saw that with President Zelensky. Sitting there innocently, trying to put his case, and then being abused by both Vance first and then by Trump. And we have this atmosphere of intimidation, and therefore we let Trump get away with what he's doing, and we shouldn't. Because, we're not talking about some reality TV show here that he used to perform on. We're talking about a country that is fighting for its survival, for its democracy, for its freedom, for its nationhood. What Trump has done has totally reversed the American position now to be an apologist for Putin instead of a defender for Ukraine and Zelensky. And if we don't call that out, then we are complicit with what happens in Ukraine. And Ukraine is a direct parallel to what the Western powers allowed Hitler to do under Nazi Germany to Czechoslovakia all those years ago.
Is the New Zealand government...
I have to say, that's probably one of the lesser aggressive ones that he said throughout this. I swear he just gets more and more and more and pops off. He's like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And it's so good.
This is excellent. Love it. Like, I know there's some people of my generation that are not fond of Phil Goff for his stuff around student loans back in the day. Nobody's saying the dude's perfect, but in this one, this is a man that has come home, that doesn't have a job or position anymore, isn't answerable to anybody's government. And he's just going, I'm going to call it how I want to do. Private citizen now. Good. Go for it.
The next one is Katie. Katie. I was going to say Karen. She's not Karen. Is New Zealand complicit? I think it's a great question to ask.
See Germany to Czechoslovakia all those years ago.
Is the New Zealand government then complicit in it? Do you think that our government is striking the wrong tone?
Look, I've been in politics long enough not to be naive about it, and you do have to exercise a degree of caution in how you put things, but remaining silent.
Side note, this is more to do with what he was talking about at the time, which was that Trump was being a dick to Zelensky and just fucking over what you're supposed to do as a global diplomat. But I think the same things here can be said about the tariffs happening at the moment in terms of should we retaliate? What's appropriate for us to do? Should we just sort of go, oh well, I guess there's nothing we can do. We're too small.
Nothing to do with us. We don't have a position.
But yeah.
You do have to exercise a degree of caution in how you put things, but remaining silent is being complicit and condoning what is being said when everybody knows that's wrong. You'll remember the fable, Hans Christian Andersen, about the emperor's new clothes. Everybody knew the emperor didn't have new clothes, that he was naked. Nobody would speak the truth because they were fearful of the consequences of doing so. If we don't speak out collectively as the democratic world, we are enabling Trump to continue to do what he is doing, whether it's today it's Ukraine or the Gaza, or it's climate change, or it's development aid, or it's tariffs. By our silence, we are not getting him to change his position. By thinking we are protecting ourselves and each of us acting in a silo way and being intimidated, we are allowing him to keep doing what he's doing, and it is damaging to the world and to our future and to our kids' future.
You are
some great wisdom.
Gold.
And some truths from the man, Goff.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Oh, where's it gone? Yes, I've got thoughts. He's talking about. Ian's probably said it better than me here. Aotearoa used to have an independent, strongly defended attitude to our positions. No pandering to Israel. Fuck off France. No nukes. Anti-apartheid. All of this sort of stuff. And we didn't always get it right, but I think New Zealanders drew quite a lot of pride over the years of the times that we did get it right. And I don't think that being quiet and hoping that nobody writes us down on a list is a country that I want to be proud of. I would have loved us at any stage to be more strident in support of Ukraine, more strident in support of the Palestinians. You know, they're so like, would the fact if that whole thing had kicked off when it wasn't an election year, like if it was in the middle of a term rather than a changeover, would that have meant that we would have been stronger on Gaza? Like, I go back to the fact that during Helen Clark's tenure, Mossad agents were caught stealing the details of dead New Zealand children to make fake New Zealand passports, which is an action that is not the actions of a friendly nation. It's something that could put any New Zealand traveller at risk. Like a country's passport and how that passport is viewed in other countries is massively important for people's safety abroad. And Mossad knew that and were literally going to weaponize New Zealand passports for their agents. They got caught, and Helen Clark told the entire Israeli ambassadorial staff to get the fuck out. The Israeli ambassador is still here in New Zealand. Russian embassy is still in New Zealand. You know, I'm not a diplomat, obviously, but here is a man that was a diplomat, and he's saying we are too soft on this sort of stuff. So I'm happy to align with Phil Goff here and say, yes, we can look at something as a matter of policy, as a country, and go, this thing that is happening runs against what we believe is right. So therefore, we're going to point at it and go, that's not right. This shouldn't be happening. You know, and it should be part of the UN. You know, like countries should be able to go to that's the whole purpose of the UN, is to people point at things and go, that's not right, stop it. But the UN's ineffective now because the countries doing the shit are the ones that have vetoes to stop everybody else pointing at them and going, that's wrong. The US isn't going to hang Israel out to dry. No matter how many countries point at it and go, this is a murderous rampage of truly slasher horror levels. You know, Russia's not going to let anybody criticize them because they wield a veto. So what can New Zealand do? New Zealand can do what it can, which is to stand up and be counted. Maybe it'll help. Maybe other countries will do the same. Maybe it'll be all us all on our own. But when you sit back and you go, well, what did I do after the fact? You've got to live with what we did. We talked about MPs finishing their run in politics and then sort of sitting back and going, actually, a lot of the stuff that I did was shitty and wrong. Don't do that.
Are you just
Don't do that.
Do you read my mind, or are you just assuming what the next thing is so you can be like, okay, I'm finishing my rant now. I know what she's going to put up next, so I'm just going to segue nicely into the next thing.
I do it to Pat, and I'm not sure if it's a curse or a superpower, but yes, I am a segue machine.
Perfect. Thanks, Chewie.
You're welcome.
This next little clip, just to wrap it up, I think, to me, shows his, whether you like his actions, you know, in the past, like with most MPs, I think this, to me, shows the kind of person he is deep down, even if the actions he's done are based on his conscious, his morals and virtue, whatever. I think this goes to the heart of who he is, and I really appreciate this.
Of your life now and do what you want to do, rather than what you feel that you should be doing.
Is it a sad way, though, to end? If that's the end of your political and diplomatic career, you haven't been able to go out at your choosing. People like to go out.
My son, who's not a politician, said, "Oh, it's great, Dad, you came home on your shield," with a reference to the old days of the Spartans. I didn't aim to do that. I don't regret doing it. I'm proud of the fact that I did decide to speak out, to call out Trump when what Trump was saying was both damaging and wrong. And given the chance again, I'd probably do the same thing.
Are you worried?
There you go. Just
No,
very clear. No regrets. Did what I had to do. It is what it is. I think if he was younger, it would be a different sentiment. For sure, it would be probably slightly regrettable. But I think he was in a position where he knew himself. He knew this position that world was in, and didn't hold back.
Sorry.
And yeah. No, I don't know. If that's the lasting impression I'm going to have of him, and I'm sure there's plenty of things that he's done wrong. Someone did mention the fact that he kind of ignored the fact that the Māori king was in the room when he was like, "This is the first time we've seen a monarch rise to
yes.
a new monarch's been crowned, and the Māori king was in the room." Not a great moment of him. Probably lots of not so great moments from him, but this was a great interview that really showed that there are people with backbones in the world who've done some good stuff in calling out fascist regimes and, you know, the rise of a dictator. So good on him.
Yeah, I mean, Peter says here, I hope Phil Goff writes a memoir.
Oh, he does mention that. That someone has asked him if he would write a book.
The length of time that he's been in politics and the governments that he's been involved in and the people that he's been involved with, like his very close relationship with Helen Clark, it would be a really good memoir. And like, if you're going to talk about your final chapter, or potentially final chapter in politics being, I told Donald Trump to fuck off and Winston Peters sacked me, it's a pretty good last chapter.
Yeah, he does. One of the things that Winston said when he sacked him was it was one of the hardest things he's had to do in politics. Was sack the guy because he'd worked with him such a long time. Katie does mention that, and he was surprised by the comment from Winston But Winston also hasn't reached out to him at all to have a conversation. So because it didn't come from Winston, it came from his office. So the message of "you're fired" didn't actually come from Winston Peters. It came through the channels. So
Interesting.
sort of a interesting one of just like, you know, oh, that's an interesting comment to come from Winston. He hasn't talked to me about it, so I don't know. So it's a weird one. I don't know why I didn't just say like, yep, no, he broke the diplomatic rules or whatever it is, and unpoliticianary. Parliamentary? Maybe it's more a better way.
I think we'll wrap up here on a comment from Ian. I really liked Phil's comment about coming home on your shield, because I'm someone that enjoyed classical studies in high school and that sort of thing, and a soldier being carried home on a shield is a very powerful piece of imagery. And I was just trying to think there was a reason for it, and Ian's put it in the chat for me, so thank you for being my brain, Ian. There's no shame in having a shield. The dishonor is in having a helmet but no shield. The shield protects the next man in the phalanx, when a helmet only serves oneself. So that's where that imagery comes from. So yeah, I just want to put it up because I'm a classics nerd as well.